Welcome to RidgeLife. Today I want to talk about keepsakes. If you live out on a homestead or you're a sportsman, outdoorsman, you keep keepsakes or memories of your harvests. Most of the time it's in the form of, say, deer mounts, shoulder mounts or Euro mounts. I've got, that's my first buck I ever killed. It was a big-bodied, nice 6-point, but he had no brow tines. So he wasn't very old, but he still was my first buck I ever killed. So I had it shoulder mounted. Very, very proud of that. As you can tell, it's right over my desk there. You also see my first turkey I ever killed, and that was out here on the ridge actually. He had an almost 10-inch beard. His spurs weren't very long, but again, that's my first turkey. So you've seen turkey mounts like that. That's my great grandpa's 16-gauge shotgun. I've actually shot dove with that. It's really beyond use now. The bore's all the barrel's all bolt pitted and really unsafe to use. But I have shot dove with it. So that's a couple ways. You've probably seen people make memories or mementos of things that are very important to them in their past. A lot of times, when people harvest a deer, they'll keep the antlers, even if they don't have it Euro mounted or shoulder mounted. They'll cut the skull cap off, or even just the antlers themselves. You can see one of the things I have here is a shed I found. This is pretty amazing. I haven't taken one that big yet, but that is something I look forward to. So what I'd like to talk about today, a different way to keep a memento of a harvest, is something I came up with right here. I call this a harvest jar. What I've got in it are the cartridges, bullets, of the deer I've killed here on the ridge just in the last couple years. I hope to one day have this full. This is not all the deer I've ever killed, obviously, it would already be full, but this is what we've had here on this property. So I've got cartridges. Actually, I have Morgan's first deer in here also, so this would be anything taken here on the ridge, and would just be me. But I've got cartridges from the deer we killed during gun season, and what I did with muzzle loading, you really don't have anything left over to keep other than the primer. And the primer is so small you can't write on or anything. So what I've done is the type of bullet I used, muzzleloading, I put one of those in there, and I wrote on each one of them. I'll show you here in just a second. We'll open this up. Okay, so this is the harvest jar. Open it up. And what I've got in it so far is so the very first deer I took out here on the ridge was still a young buck, but it was the very first one I've taken here, and this was November 17th, 2018. That was the only deer we took that year. So we passed up a bunch, thinking the big one was going to come out, and we really weren't ready to take a lot of meat then because we hadn't been lived here very long. So, and then this one here. Let's see, let's do it in order. So this one here, this is a muzzleloader power belt, 295 grain. Hollow point, and this one was taken on Halloween. This was my first ever muzzleloading deer. It was a doe, which we later found out had CWD. I had it tested. So that was my first muzzleloading deer. And then this was a couple days later. This was the big 8-point with the palmated antlers. I've got him being Euro mounted right now, and so I shot this with a muzzleloader. So that was pretty cool. And then, let's see, this one here, this was November 24th. This was a 30-30. This was Morgan's first deer. It was a doe, and we shot it in the evening. I got to sit in the stand with him and video it. There's a video on this channel. But this was his first deer. I got to be with him when he shot it, and we couldn't find it that night. And we looked and looked and looked. We thought it ran right back into the woods where it came from. And the next morning, he went out. I had to go work. And after he got out of the stand, he went to look for it again, and he found it. He found it about 20, 30 yards from where he shot it, but it turned and ran down the field line instead of going into the woods. So He got that while I was at work, and the coyotes had gotten to it, or the vultures or something, and so he couldn't harvest all the meat, but he did harvest the back straps himself. So now I was at work. I was very proud of that. So that's his first deer. And then this was on Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving of this year. That morning I shot a big, beautiful doe. So what I plan on doing is, I don't know if I'll have my daughter or somebody write on here harvest jar, and then maybe put the RidgeLife emblem on it. So harvest jar, RidgeLife emblem. But I thought this was pretty cool. I'm going to show you one or two more things here real quick. This is my office, my study. I do a lot of the video editing here. Let's see, I'll show you this again. So here's that turkey. You can see the size there. And that's the actual shotgun shell of the day I shot this turkey. So I cut it off and put the beard up inside of it, and it goes all the way up to there. And then you can see I put it on this leather strap, and you can hang more on there. So that's the beautiful. And you can see the deer. So he's a young one, but again, it's my first one ever, so I was pretty proud of that. One thing, my father-in-law made this. Ralph Smith. This is American flag, hand cut and stained, and those are 45 caliber cartridges, the stars on the flag. If anybody's interested in these, he may be able to make one locally. Here in Tennessee, we're not going to ship this, but he lives around Nashville. So if you live around the Nashville area and you're looking for something like this, he also can make them where this flips up and is a storage for like a gun or something. That's pretty cool. I'm really proud of that. I really appreciate the gift he gave me there. Well, okay, everyone, that was just a little idea I had, with the harvest jar. I hope somebody can appreciate that and maybe start one for yourself. It's a good little an heirloom for your kids to instead of giving them a big deer mount they'll never want to put on their wall. You can have that jar of, hey, this is Dad's harvest from the years we hunted with him, or this is Grandpa's. So I'd love to have one of those from my grandpa. That would have just been so awesome. But so I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll have more videos soon. I appreciate everyone. We're coming up on Christmas time here, so I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Remember the reason for the season, and have a blessed day.